Hello citizens, and welcome back to Orgbital. Today, we are stepping off the ramp at Riker Memorial Spaceport, walking the neon streets of Area 18, and pushing right through the front doors of the Bevic Convention Centre, because DefenseCon 2956 is live. And this is not the same DefenseCon you remember. Invictus Launch Week pulled out of Stanton this year, took the whole Navy parade back to Seoul, and left a vacuum the size of a battlecruiser hangar. Drake Interplanetary did not blink. They took over the Bevic, planted their flag in Area 18, and turned what used to be a side event into a full 2-week all-manufacturer convention. Drake CEO Andon Arden called it the real party for the people. After walking the floor, I am inclined to agree. Before we drop in, lock in your trajectory and hit subscribe. Don't drift off into the void without us. Let's talk about why this event actually matters. Alpha 4.8 dropped on May 13th, 2 days ago. This patch is called Tactical Strike, and it is doing a lot of heavy lifting underneath every ship you are about to see. Tactical Strike Groups are the new structured PvE multiplayer activity, with shared objectives and coordinated engagement zones. That is the gameplay loop these new ships are built for. Refueling 2.0 is a complete overhaul of fuel economics, which is exactly why the MISC Starlight is being unveiled at this event. And Hangar Services lets capital ships act as mobile repair, refuel, and rearm platforms for any smaller ship docked in their bay. Hold on to that one. It is going to matter a lot when we get to the Ironclad Assault. There is also the wipe. Yeah, the economic wipe stings, but duping had gotten so out of hand that the Versus economy was effectively broken. Think of 4.8 as a clean slate, a chance to actually feel the weight of the new mechanics instead of grinding against an exploit-warped market. Server capacity is now pushing up to 700 players per shard, which is exactly why this convention floor is shoulder to shoulder with citizens right now. Let's hit the show. The walk-in starts at Riker Memorial Spaceport, the main spaceport serving Area 18. You step off the elevator into the plaza, and the first thing that hits you is the scale. Above the North I.O. building, an Anvil Odin battlecruiser hologram is rotating in full scale. This is the first public appearance of the Odin, sitting there as a concept, looming over the entire plaza. Quick honesty beat. The Bevic is packed with high-density ship assets right now, so if your frame rate dips on approach, you are not alone. That is the price of admission for the biggest single show floor Drake has ever hosted. Follow the blue DefenseCon signage through the streets. Catch the shuttle. The shuttle drops you right at the convention entrance, and then the doors slide open. If you are enjoying the view from the cockpit, inside the Bevic, you have over 100 rentable ships available across the event, and 34 plus on physical display. Travelers' rental terminals are stationed throughout the floor. Any ship you see can be rented for 48 hours, including the brand new ones. But here is the rule that will catch you out if you are not paying attention. Each vehicle can only be rented once during the entire event, so choose wisely. If you want to test the Ironclad, and the Ironclad Assault, and the Pitbull, you cannot blow your entire allowance on one ship and circle back. The wrap-up period on May 26th and 27th opens up final free rentals of every vehicle as the event closes out, so save some powder for the finale. The manufacturer rotation runs in 2-day blocks. Drake and Gray's Market kicked it off on the 14th and 15th. Origin, RSI, and Kruger take the 16th and 17th. Then MISC, Mirai, Argo, and Greycat. Aegis on the 20th and 21st, Crusader and Tumbril. Anvil closes the rotation on the 24th and 25th. and then the finale opens every vehicle on the floor for the last 48 hours. Twitch drops are also live for the full event. Watch any drops-enabled Star Citizen stream for a cumulative 4 hours with your RSI account linked, and you walk away with the Tailwind Murray Cup helmet and flight suit. Free game, free rentals, free cosmetics. Star Citizen is free to play for the entire 2-week window. If you have ever been curious about the verse, this is the door. Now, let's get to the ship everyone walked through these doors to see. The Drake Ironclad. She was first unveiled at DefenseCon 2954 as a tag-along to Invictus. 2 years the community has waited. 2 years of memes, hype, and the nickname Fatterpillar floating around every fleet chat in the verse. And now, in Alpha 4.8, she is finally flight ready. Standing next to her, the first thing you register is just the sheer width. 60 meters across the hull, with a retractable roof that opens the entire cargo deck to top loading. Over 1,500 SCU of cargo capacity. This is a large, armored, deep space freighter, and she is built on the Drake Gospel. Function over luxury. Firepower over finish. Steel, armor, and guns. Look at the turret loadout. 1 size 5 manned turret on top, 2 size 3 remote turrets, 1 size 3 manned turret, and an interior anti-boarding turret tucked inside the ship itself. That last one is the detail that makes me grin every time. Drake is not pretending you will avoid getting boarded. Drake is assuming you will get boarded, and they are giving you a turret to repel the people who breach your hull. That is the philosophy in a single design choice. Now look at the front of the ship. That is the detachable command module. Inherited from the Caterpillar lineage, but evolved. It is the bridge. It is the escape pod. It is interchangeable across the entire Caterpillar, Ironclad, and Ironclad Assault fleet. In an ambush, when the math goes against you, you cut loose. You detach the command module, leave the main hull as a decoy or an insurance claim, and you escape with the crew intact. Drake does not give you an ejection seat. Drake gives you the entire bridge. Let's step inside. The interior is industrial, labyrinthine, and unapologetically utilitarian. The cargo bay is the primary volume of the ship, an enormous open space with that retractable roof above you, and the freight elevators positioned for tractor beam loading. You will need to know your parking angles to make the load efficient. Down the corridors, you find the 5 remotely lockable secure storage bays. Engineering decks run alongside complex industrial corridors that will require dedicated maintenance crew under the new long-haul mechanics. Multiple airlock points throughout, and that anti-boarding turret, positioned interior, ready to chew through anyone who thinks they can stroll through your ship. This is a flying warehouse welded to a fortress. Now, real talk, she flies like a brick, because she is a brick. In contested space, you do not want a ballerina, you want a tank. And this ship will humble you if you try to solo it. You need a pilot, a co-pilot, turret operators, an engineer, cargo specialists, and somebody on that interior turret. This is a crew tax ship. That is not a bug. That is the design. The community is calling her the Ironchad. After walking that cargo bay, I get it. But Drake did not stop there. Right next to her sits the Ironclad Assault. Same chassis, different soul. The Assault sacrifices roughly 764 SCU of cargo to make room for combat systems. In trade, you get 34 infantry jump seats, a full combat service bay, a forward vehicle deployment ramp that fits up to 4 Tumbril Novas, and a heavier auxiliary turret configuration. And here is where Alpha 4.8 changes everything. Hangar Services. The Ironclad Assault has full repair, refuel, and rearm capability for ships docked in her bay, pulled directly from her internal cargo grid, which means cargo management is now part of combat operations. This is not a freighter anymore. This is a mobile forward operating base, a mini carrier. Land troops, deploy vehicles, launch fighters, rearm in the field. Drake just walked into the fleet support category and put Anvil and Aegis on notice. And that brings us to the small angry thing parked next to her, the Drake Pitbull. Snub fighter, no quantum drive. This thing is not going anywhere on its own. It has to be carried to the fight, which is exactly what the Ironclad Assault is built to do. 4 size 1 guns plus 2 size 2 guns. 6 gun points on a frame this small is genuinely absurd. Drake's own description floating around the floor calls it more guns than common sense. That tracks. Armor is effectively 0. This is a tissue paper fighter built around volume of fire. You get in, you unload, you get back to the assault, you restock, you repeat. The missile racks are mounted on the outside of the folded wings for fast reloads. It is a pack hunter. The Pitbull trades precision for coverage and trades survivability for swarm. The community is already calling it an angry bug. Small, aggressive, relentless. Pair the Pitbull with the Ironclad Assault, and Drake has handed you a complete combined arms doctrine in a single hangar bay. Hit the notification beacon so you don't miss when we take this loadout out into a Tactical Strike Group and see how it actually performs in the black. Other ships on the floor across the rotation include the Mirai Guardian MX, the Mirai Fury MX, the Anvil F7C-M Super Hornet Mark II, the RSI Perseus, the Crusader Ares Inferno, the new Origin M80 with its dedicated Q&A, the MISC Starlight, the Aegis Eclipse and Tiburon, plus the entire Drake showroom from the Corsair and Cutlass Steel down to the Cutter and the Mule. The Free Fly is your invitation, the rentals are your test drive, the wipe is your clean slate. So, what does all of this actually mean for a pilot standing on this floor right now? It means Drake's reputation has officially shifted. DefenseCon used to be a tag-along. Now, it is the event. The Bevic is full, the shuttles are running constantly, and the ships on display are not concept art anymore. They are flight-ready hardware sitting in Alpha 4.8 waiting for a crew. It also means Star Citizen at this scale is starting to feel like the universe it has always promised to be. Over $969 million in funding, more than 6.4 million registered accounts, 700 players per shard. Squadron 42 confirmed for 2026 release window with Mark Hamill, Henry Cavill, and Gary Oldman. The verse is maturing. DefenseCon 2956 is the proof on the floor. Is it perfect? No. The wipe is fresh, frame rates dip in dense areas, and we are still in alpha. But the foundation is here, and it is loud, and it is wearing Drake colors. If you are jumping in this week, my suggestion is simple. Use one of your rentals on the Ironclad to feel the weight of multi-crew cargo. Use another on the Ironclad Assault to feel what mini-carrier gameplay actually does inside Tactical Strike Groups. Save the Pitbull for the finale weekend when everything is open. Grab the referral Drake Dragonfly with the Coalfire paint while the event is live. Watch 4 hours of drops-enabled streams for the Tailwind set. And if you are brand new to the verse, this is the lowest friction window we have ever had to actually try the game. I want to hear from you. Which ship on the Bevic floor are you renting first? Are you crewing up for the Ironclad? Or are you climbing into a Pitbull and praying the Assault picks you back up? Drop a comment below. Your fleet is waiting. If this walkthrough helped you plan your DefenseCon, engage your thrusters on that like button. Join the Orgbital crew, hit subscribe, and remember to fly safe, watch your 6, and I'll see you in the verse.